Good afternoon. Today we are going to have the discussion on organizational intervention, and our main focus will be on the comprehensive intervention. Okay, so to start with, comprehensive intervention is a next step of the team intervention. In case of comprehensive information, the types of information are confrontation meeting, survey feedback, core system management, managerial grid, and contingency approach. So in case of the individual intervention, we had seen that the focus is mainly on the individual employees. In case of the team intervention, we have seen that there are the main focus remains on the interaction and the interrelations of the employees in a team, the roles, and in this case, this comprehensive intervention, the focus is much more widespread and broad. The first type of intervention, that is confrontation meeting, as the name suggests, it is based on the confrontation. A meeting is called, which is participated by the different departments, representatives of the different departments. They come with the issue, the points of differences, the differences of opinions, the gaps, all these things they actually bring together and they sit for a meeting. Now, as the main focus of this meeting will be the non-alignments, the gaps, so it is quite likely that this particular meeting will lead to some confrontation. Now, what is the purpose of this type of meeting? What is the purpose of this type of intervention? Gaps, confrontations are often remaining covered in the organizations. They are not properly exercised upon and they are not at all disclosed. But the underlying confrontation, the gaps in opinions, all these things are existing. But although it could be felt from outside, but the confrontation is not actually expressed or reflected. But it's essential for an organization to understand that what is exactly the difference areas. So therefore, this confrontation meeting is actually performed where these teams are sitting with the issues, the non-aligned issues, the gaps, and they're having the discussion amongst themselves. These are the steps in an organizational confrontation meeting. First of all, the climate setting needs to be done. The climate setting refers to the setting of a climate where each and everyone can express their own opinion. Information collection, it has to be collected by the each and every team. There will be 3 teams together. Suppose 3 departments sitting together. There will be the representative from each and every department. Suppose 3 teams are sitting together in a meeting or 4 teams are sitting together in a meeting. So one team, one particular department will first get the chance to speak. It will talk about the differences with the other 3 departments. Now the representatives from those 3 departments will be present in that meeting itself. They have to note down, they have to collect the information that where is that particular gap, what is the expectation or what are the expectations from the other department from my department. So that has to be properly understood and properly noted down, documented. Now, once they have noted down the information, it has to be shared amongst all departments, all parties. And the priority has to be set, because obviously the priority will be the organizational effectiveness. So the priority has to be set and the group action plan has to be drawn. What should be done to mitigate those gaps? What should be done to abolish those gaps? That action plan has to be developed so that all the departments should be working towards the organizational effectiveness. So these are the 4 steps which are exactly performed in the organizational confrontation meeting. Now the remaining 3 steps, 5, 6 and 7 these are basically the steps that follows the organizational meeting. Once the feedback is obtained from the organizational meeting, then the organizational action plan is developed in details. The follow-up meetings are often called. Confrontation meeting should not be one. There should be multiple series of confrontation meeting with a substantial gap in between. And in the series of meetings, ultimately, the follow-up actions can be taken. And finally, the review of the entire progress will be again same. In the first meeting, we had some gap areas, we had some confrontation areas. Whether that particular gap areas or the confrontation areas have been solved or not, that will be reviewed in the follow-up meetings. So this way, total 7 steps are there through which we can perform the confrontation meeting in the organization. What are the benefits? Direct communication is improved, as we are actually, the consultant is actually arranging for a common meeting where each and everyone one is sharing their own views, noting down the points given by others. So it is understood that the environment is quite open and conducive of exchange of the opinions and the views. Morale of the employees will be increased because everything will be very, very transparent and clear. Better work culture can be ensured through this. Obviously, if the confrontation meeting can be properly exercised without any biasness, without any the confrontation, that kind of confrontation actually, not the kind of confrontation that has been designed for the meeting. The conflict and the disputes, if we can avoid through this particular exercise of confrontation meeting, ultimately that will provide a better work culture. Improve interdepartmental human relationship, that's understandable. The things will be much more transparent and clear, and it can provide a solution to day-to-day problems. So these are the benefits of the confrontation meetings. Next one will be the survey feedback. Survey feedback is an essential tool to get the opinion of the employees about the organization, how it is going on, what is their views about the proposed change. Everything can be understood. Now, a survey can be conducted in different ways. Different methodologies are there. Now, different methodologies are applied here as well, including the sensitivity training and the discussions, and through which the survey, the feedback of the employees regarding the organizational change proposal, if at all there is any change going to happen, everything will be exactly understood through this particular survey feedback method. Steps of optimal survey. Organizational members at the top of the hierarchy are involved in the preliminary planning. The top-notch executives will be doing the plan. The data will be collected from all throughout the organization. It will not at all be limited to only a department or some part or something like that. Data, the collected data should be fed back to the executives who are in charge of the survey, and that should be the entire survey should be properly coordinated and guided by an external consultant, the process consultant. So these are 2 important steps. These are 2 important interventions to be carried out. One is the confrontation meeting. Second one is the employee survey feedback. The importance, definitely, it can tap the customer ideas, gain insight, online customer communities, collect feedback through surveys, collect and analyze the data used to improve their business processes, product offers, and service levels. Now the 4 system management as given by the Rene-Slycart: exploitative authoritative, benevolent authoritative, consultative, and participative. Exploitative authoritative and benevolent authoritatives are the 2 variants of the authoritative style of leadership. Obviously, you understand from the name itself that in case of the exploitative authoritative, the management is having the authority, but they are exploitative in nature. On the other hand, benevolent authoritative, the management is authoritative in nature, but they are doing the benefit, they're providing the benefits in ample amount to their employees. Consultative, highly democratic, and participative. Now, one thing, in case of the OD, it is definitely the participative types of management which is advocated for. authoritative, not at all recommended in OD, because that often creates the resistance amongst the employees, which is not at all desirable. Second thing, consultative. If the organization is a bigger size, every time you cannot be that democratic. So participative is the mode of management which is recommended for OD. And through this particular 4 system management analysis, we can understand that at which state exactly we are. If we can find ourselves in the state of the consultative or in authoritative levels, we must shift towards the participative style of management. Otherwise, the purpose of OD will not be solved, and that will be the primary objective of this particular OD, that to at least transfer the organizational management system towards the participative one, so that everyone is feeling free to speak out, everyone is feeling to exchange their views, and then only the basic essence of the OD will be exactly followed. So I will stop here. I will conclude here for this session. In the next session, we will talk about the remaining part of this kind of discussions. In the remaining part, I will carry on with this comprehensive intervention. But till that point of time, thank you very much. Stay indoor and stay safe.